BigTimes Podcast brings you breaking insights from across the globe. Today, a shocking shift in global aid. The United States Agency for International Development, better known as USAID, is coming to an end. But what does this mean for the world, for developing countries, for disaster relief, for you? Without USAID, we don't know who will help us with the drought-resistant seeds. We depended on them.
United States Agency for International Development, _better, known as USAID. It started all the way back in 1961 when President John F. Kennedy signed it into law. Its mission was to provide economic and humanitarian assistance to other countries around the globe. Today, they operate in more than 100 countries across the globe, working on important issues such as health, food, education, and strengthening democracy. For example, they've helped deliver vaccines to prevent deadly diseases, provided food aid to families facing hunger, and supported teachers in their efforts to educate the next generation. They really work on some important stuff. But now the United States Congress has voted to end the agency by September. So why are they ending this important program? And what does it mean for the world? Let's find out. In recent years, there has been a growing sentiment within the U.S. to focus on domestic issues, and it's led to budget cuts for foreign aid. In addition, Congress has expressed concerns about the effectiveness of USAID's programs and have demanded greater accountability and transparency. This has resulted in a gradual decline in funding for USAID's programs, and now they're being forced to shut down. But the timing couldn't be worse. Many parts of the world rely on USAID's assistance to provide basic services to their citizens. Ending this program will have devastating consequences. In places like Afghanistan, for example, where 70% of the population already lived below the poverty line before the recent earthquake. This will be felt immediately. Families who are already struggling to get by will now face even greater challenges. As a result, thousands of innocent lives will be lost, most of them children under the age of 5. It's heartbreaking. Across Africa, farmers who depend on USAID support to grow crops and feed their communities will be left without the resources they need. Schools will be forced to close their doors, and students will be deprived of the opportunity to learn. Healthcare systems will collapse, and people will have no access to basic medical services. It will be a disaster. Medical worker in South Sudan says, "I'm worried because our biggest donor is the U.S. government through the USAID. If the funding stops, we don't know how we're going to continue providing essential services to the people of South Sudan. People will suffer and may even die. That's just the reality." USAID provides over 80% of the funding for HIV/AIDS programs in South Sudan, which has the world's highest maternal mortality rate and one of the lowest rates of access to health care. Over the past few decades, USAID has invested more than $6 billion in health programs that have saved millions of lives. Without this assistance, it's likely that many of these gains will be reversed and countless lives will be lost. A teacher in Uganda says, "What does the future hold for us now? We are so dependent on the U.S. government for funding. If this money stops coming in, our school will not be able to function. Where will the children go? Who will teach them?" These are valid questions that need to be answered. An activist in Zimbabwe adds, "This is not just about money. It's about the impact that this funding has had on our communities. For years, USAID has been a reliable partner for us. They have helped us to build schools, to provide clean water, and to improve the lives of our people. Now it looks like that's all going to come to an end. We don't know what we're going to do. So as you can see, the loss of USAID funding will have immediate and long-term negative impacts on millions of people around the world. It will leave communities vulnerable and without the resources they need to thrive. But it doesn't have to be the end of the story. Local organizations and regional blocs like the European Union and the African Union will need to step up and fill the void left by USAID departure. It will require a collective effort, but it's essential if we want to continue making progress on these critical issues. Additionally, developing countries need to focus on becoming self-reliant and finding innovative solutions to their problems. This won't happen overnight, but it's a necessary step towards a more sustainable future. As we navigate these challenges, it's important to remember the incredible work that USAID has done over the past 6 decades. They've helped to save countless lives, alleviate suffering, and bring hope to millions of people around the world. Their legacy will continue to inspire us to find new ways to make a positive impact on the world. So what comes next? The future of foreign aid and U.S. foreign policy remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear. The world needs to find new ways to address global challenges and ensure that every person has the opportunity to live a life of dignity and hope. That was a message from BigTimes Podcast. If you want to better understand global issues, subscribe to our podcast, BigTimes Podcast. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit subscribe.